Hi, Stacy here with Bluebird Paper and Thread. Thank you for joining me. Today is Wednesday, October 22nd. I'm coming to you a little bit earlier because we changed our days off because of the pumpkin patch. I'll get into that in a little bit. Anyways, if you are new to my channel, welcome. My channel is on my hobbies, which primarily is cross-stitching and a little bit of sewing. I've started to do a little bit of quilting, so that's been fun. I also enjoy paper crafting. I like to make greeting cards, gift tags, gift card holders, treat boxes, that kind of thing. If you are returning, thank you so much for coming back. I'm glad that you decided to check in on me and see what I have been up to. So yes, today's Wednesday. It's not Friday like I had hoped. And that's because last Friday, too many of us were off. And the few people that were working on Friday, the day before our second weekend of our pumpkin patch at work, were extremely overwhelmed. So we split it up. Some of us were off on Monday, Tuesday. Some of us were off Tuesday, Wednesday. Some of us were off Wednesday, Thursday. So I am a Tuesday, Wednesday person, which is just fine. Fine with me. It is a little odd to be off in the middle of the week. I feel like I'm playing hooky. It's different when you schedule a vacation day because you're doing that with a specific thing in mind, whether it be nap all day or sit in the sun or run errands or get all your doctor's appointments done or, whatever. When you're doing a vacation day, it has a little bit different feel than when your regular days off are in the middle of the week. It's a little weird. But I've been getting not a lot of stitching, but I've been working on a secret project. And so I've been making progress on that very, very slowly. But I think I can see a path forward on that, which is very exciting. And, I did a little bit of stitching. I also, I had a really bad headache yesterday. I got new glasses, not these. These are not new. I have the replacement for these are ready to be picked up. I'll pick them up on Friday. I wore my everyday glasses to do a bunch of computer work yesterday at home, and I wound up with a headache because the work was giving me a headache, and I felt like I had a little bit of eye strain. I was a little congested. It's like all the things converged and I wound up with a headache. So I didn't feel much like stitching yesterday. So I worked on a finish, which I'll show you in a minute. And then I worked on another little side project that I have that I'll tell you about. Oh, excuse me. I think I'm going to take a nap today. I slept well until 4 o'clock in the morning, and then I got up, and then I was not sleeping very well after that. I got up to use the restroom, and then I wasn't sleeping well after that. So I could probably use a nap. We'll see how that goes. Okay. This week I did do a little stitching, the finish. I have some haul. I have another little side project that I worked on that I'm thrilled. I can't wait to show it to you. But let's start with my finish. This is my finish. It is Oliver, the Animal Cracker Crumb by Stacy Nash. He's got a little bit of a square jaw right here, but that's okay. It's okay. I loved it. Every time I looked at the pattern, they had an orange bow, and then they had a ribbon coming off the top for him to be an ornament. And I have a black Christmas tree with orange lights for Halloween, and I thought, I could do that. But every time I saw it, the tails of the ribbon coming off of his neck reminded me of one of those toys, the paper mache ones, and they have string attached with balls on the end, and when you flip it, it makes a drum sound. That's what this kind of reminded me of, and so that's what I wanted to make. So what I did is I stitched his face, and then I did the back in the same fabric that I stitched him on, which was the linen. And then I bought orange and white striped paper straws. And I took a couple of them out and I spritzed them with Tim Holtz Distressed stain or spray. It's to make things look like aged and mottled. And I kind of wound up with this. And it's a little orangey for me, but I don't really have anything I don't think to make it a little darker. So this works for me. And then what I did is I took a bamboo craft stick. So it's like a bamboo skewer without the point. And I put it on the inside. I added a washi tape on the bottom, and then I covered with some decorative sparkly washi tape. And then I had the bamboo skewer stick out about a 1/2 inch to 1 inch out of the top of the straw. And then what I did is I just glued that inside after I had it mostly stuffed, and then I added more stuffing as I was stitching it closed. And I stitched it closed around the straw. So it's got the bamboo skewer in there so that the straw won't bend or break or rip. And then I had some orange Grubby Jack ribbon, hand-dyed ribbon by Lady Dot Creates, and I made a bow. It's like the seam binding, or the seam, like very thin ribbon. I had a rusty jingle bell, and then I did add the 2025 on there as well, charms, so that I know when it was done. I debated on just putting the 2025 on the back, but in the end I decided behind the bell would be okay. I glued the ribbon in place. I sewed the bell and the charm on, and I have a finish, and I love him so much. He is just the cutest, and his little bell does make a tiny little noise. So Oliver is done. And then I worked on another project that kind of goes with haul, so I'll talk about that now. I placed an order with Benzie Designs. They do wool felt sheets, wool felt balls, wool felt like figurines, like candy corn or hearts or pencils, things like that are themed. And so what I did is I wanted, because I have the black tree, I wanted to do a felt ball garland. So I picked up some, I think these are 1.5 inch balls in a yellow, the orange, and the lighter gray. And then I also picked up felt balls that are smaller in the beige or the white and a purple. So I think these are probably 1/2 inch balls, and these I think they classify as tiny balls. They might be 1/4 of an inch. I don't know. Maybe these are 1 inch and those are 1/2 inch. I don't know. They're small. I had ordered also a darning needle. They're a thicker, longer needle that glides very easily through the felt balls. And I picked up from Amazon a black, a DMC 310, so black pearl cotton floss. So what I did is I made a garland for my tree. It did not take very long at all. I will insert a picture of a tree. I didn't want to pull the garland off and bring it in because it took me a while to get it on the tree, to be honest. And my garland, it was long enough to go around, but a lot of space in between the rounds. So I went ahead and I had enough of the white that I did another one, and I could have added probably one more set of orange, yellow, and gray balls. They were separated with the white in between, and then I ended it with a white, a purple, and a white. So I probably could have made it another 6 or 8 inches longer for the second one that I did. It still looks great. It's fine. No one can really tell. So I put it in the living room, actually on our subwoofer. That's where I keep my some of my whips, my like everyday whips or whips that I'm not working on. I kept that in there. So I moved that off. I put the tree up, fluffed it, put the ball garland, the wool garland on it, and then I added my 2 Busilla ornaments, and I love it so much. It is so cute. I wasn't quite time to go to bed, and I can't just sit idly, so I pulled out the Busilla kit and I continued to work on the skeleton. So I should have that done maybe today. It would be nice to have a 3rd ornament up. Oh my goodness, though, it is so cute. I love it so much, and it's the perfect size for right there. It's next to another fall Halloween type display. And it's just it's cute. I really like it. So the wool felt balls, they come packaged like this in a muslin bag, and it was a fun, easy, no think project of just stringing wool felt balls onto a cording and being done with it. So anyways, stitching. Let's get into that, shall we? All right. When Witches Go Riding with Thy Needle and Thread. I dug this one out because Nicole Spohr last week had finished hers. Not that it's a competition or a race, but I thought, oh yeah, I'd like to finish those too. So I think what I'm going to do is this one I'm going to stitch beyond the season and try to get it done by the first part of the year. I'm using all the called for thread, and I'm stitching this on a 40 count vintage country Mocha, Newcastle linen. And I think I got quite a bit done. I did not have the fencing done like I thought before. So I finished the fencing, I added the cats, and I started on the witch's body. And I finished the sign October 31st or 31. These will be a pillow finish that I grouped together in something, a bowl. I don't know. We'll see. But I've got the first one done, and the second one is maybe almost to the halfway point. There's not a lot more to stitch on it. But it will be cute. So that one got pulled out. I did stitch on Land That I Love by Teresa Kogut. This was my birthday start from 2022. And the end is so close. I am using the called for flosses on the called for fabric, which is a 40 count vintage country mocha. No, I think I changed mine to a 40 count. What is hers on? $35 count. So mine's going to be a little bit smaller than her model. And I stitched 1 over 2. And here is where I'm at. So what I worked on was finishing this motif here. And I did. And then I started on this motif up here. So the only thing I have left to do is there's a motif here and another little round one here, and then the border and connecting it and finishing that off, and it's a finish. So I'm really close. This is my Sunday sampler. So I'm picking a sampler every Sunday to focus on until it's done, and this is the first one I chose. It will be framed and hung in the living room. I know exactly where I want it to go. It will need to have glass because it's over the dog crate. He's a dusty, dusty dog. But it feels good to see it to that point. I think if I had started from the top and worked my way down and being stuck on the houses, I think it would still be languishing. I don't think I would be working on it because those houses were tough. I think the bulk of 1 year was spent stitching those houses, if not a couple, maybe a little over a year and a few months, because I love a house. I really, really do. And I get so excited. And a lot of my charts have houses, and then I start stitching them and I'm like, oh, the house, why did I do that? Because I love them. I don't like stitching them. Oh, this is another finish. Let's see. I worked on Strawberry Thieves pin keeps. Oh. And I started with the needle book. And the stitching is done. On the Oh So Sweet, I did get off. I'm one stitch too short, but I think it works out just fine. And then what I'm also doing is I'm eliminating the black on the inside. I don't know that we really need it. It's a little harsh for me on this one. So I left it off. I will pull out a piece of wool to put on the front before I go back in today. And then it'll be ready for a finish. Now I am stitching this on 36 count Alabaster by Weeks Dye Works, and it's a Zweigart base. And I do love it. I am going to have to fiddle with the shape because the shape is really, really close to this one. This was stitched on .37 count. So this is a 36 count. It's a skosh bigger. But I think I can make it work. It'll be fun to have that one done. I'm also thinking, you know, on the inside, they have a felt. I might try to match my felt to one of these pinks. Yeah. think I might try that. And the last thing that I stitched on was Jack-o'-lantern Jubilee, and I'm working on the guy in the middle right here. Halloween Delivery, I think is the name. Yes, Halloween Delivery. It is the last one in this booklet that I need to finish. I'm stitching it on a 40 count platinum linen with the called for flosses. And here we go. So the bird is pretty, ooh, sorry. The bird is pretty much done. The wagon is done with the exception of the wheel. And then one of the pumpkins got started. So I've got 2 more pumpkins, a moon, some flowers, the wagon chassis, a spider. It's coming along. It won't take long to finish. I might make this one, since we're so close to Halloween and I'd love to get this book done, I might make this a Friday focus. And I'll be stitching it into November, I'm sure. If I make it a Friday focus, then I'll get it done pretty quickly, and then I can make it up as a pillow, and then I'll be done. I can put the book away, the threads back to stash. That's all I got stitched. But it's only been like Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So it's only been 3 or 4 days of stitching. So there's that. Okay, haul. I've been waiting for an order to come from Fat Quarter Shop for a while. And I'm like, where is, I've got fabric pulled out in a kind of stitch in the kitchen and the dining area, and so my stuff is all spread out. I'm waiting for like the backing fabric, the lining fabrics to come in. I'm like, where is it? And I couldn't find it. I'm like, did I even order it? No. There sat my cart, which meant that they sold out of the Sacre Bleu mini charm packs that I was waiting for. So I had to go and buy them from, I bought it from pinkchihuahuafabrics.com or the Etsy store. So I've picked up 2 mini charm packs. Ooh. And then I have a backing fabric already. And then I have a couple of creamy fabrics I think that would look nice as the lining. So I've got those to make. And then as I was perusing her website, I saw this pattern for the Wilma pouch using mini charm packs. So I loved the triangular look on the bottom there, and I thought, okay, let's try it. So I picked up the pattern. And then once my Fat Quarter order came in, I have a couple of fun things. I have been thinking about the Nicole Spohr did a patchwork bag, like tote bag, and I've been thinking about it, and I thought I'd like to try working with Charm Pack, and I thought that would be a good project to start. So I picked up Rosemary Cottage Charm Pack. Real pretty fabrics. And then a mini charm pack too to do a project bag. And then the backing fabric, I'll figure that out later. I think I have some here. Like this is the backing fabric that I have. I might have enough to do what I have in the house, as well as back this or line the bag. We'll see. Otherwise, I think I might have something here in the garage. And then this one is a very sweet Christmas. And when I saw it, I thought, oh, cute. Penguins, candy canes, pink. And then I thought, no. And then I saw it again. I'm like, yes. So I bought a little mini charm pack to do a project bag. And then I bought some yardage to do the back of the project bag and perhaps the front of another project bag. We'll see. And then this is also in the same line, a really fun plaid. That will be probably a backing. And then I picked up this fabric because I thought it would be really a cute topper with the penguins. You know, like if I do the base out of like the charm packs and then add this on the top, or do a solid on the bottom and this across the top before the zipper, or to separate the zipper from the top of the bag. So I picked up some of that, and then I picked up I'm so smart. I did think ahead. I picked up this fabric for lining and backing. And I did pick up the coordinates to go with the Rosemary Cottage. So I have this one, this one, and then I picked up this one. I thought that would be a fun holiday bag. And that's it there. And then, so I have this in red, and I also picked some up in green. And that is all of the haul that I got. So I'm very pleased to have these in my stash. I think I will get busy on working on my projects. I think the Rosemary Cottage will probably wait until I'm off. I did get my vacation approved for the end of the year. So I think I might wait and work on that project then, unless I can convince my husband we need to go away. But I don't know that we will do that. So yes, a lot to work on. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I don't think so. Okay, so last week at work at our pumpkin patch, we had a really good turnout. We had about 800 people come on Saturday, which were like, oh, it's not as much as last week, which was over 1,000 people each day. And then Sunday came, and we wound up with like just over 1,100 people. It was fantastic. We had so much fun. The kids had fun. Pumpkins were selling. The kids were enjoying the activities. It was a good time for everybody. And I felt good after each one. A little sore on Saturday and Sunday. I'm sorry, on Sunday evening and Monday all day, because I stood pretty much all day on Sunday, from the time I got to work until I came home. I did sit down to sell beer, of course, me and my husband, for maybe a half an hour, and then that was pretty much it. To sit at the ticket table where my chair was, it kept sinking into the soft dirt, so I'm like, forget this. So it was a good time. My mom came with her neighbor. They each bought pumpkins. I still haven't bought my pumpkin. I bought one pumpkin. It's on my front porch, but there's a few more that I want to buy. So this week or this weekend, I will put a cart together and I will pick up a couple pumpkins. So that'll be fun. This weekend is our last weekend, and we will be doing challenge course, rock wall climbing, as our main activity. The petting zoo was adorable last weekend. I walked over to check out what animals they brought, and they had this, what turned out to be a rooster, and he was a silkie, and he sees me. I walk up to the corral fence, and he sees me, and he comes running over to me, and I was like, oh my goodness, well, hello. So the attendant picked him up and let me pet him, and then she picked up a little, was it a white or a buff colored silkie? I think it was a white silkie, because she was getting picked on by the ducks. And so I was able to pet that silkie, so it was fun. And then they had some bunnies, so I think she was an Angora bunny the second day, a little white Angora bunny. Just fun. The kids had such a good time. The animals were good, although the sheep and the goat started headbutting. That made my head hurt when you hear their heads knock together, but it's okay. They were okay. They were fine. So yeah, it went really, really well. We're excited to get going on this weekend. We're excited that it's the last weekend, but then we have 2 weekends off. No, 1 weekend off, and then we have our auction, benefit auction, and then we'll be done for the season. Like, no more fundraising for quite a while. I can get back to my normal routine, my normal days. So yeah, it's been a whirlwind. October has flown by. This Saturday, I am going to leave right as the pumpkin patch is closing, because we're doing my son's birthday and my daughter's boyfriend's birthday with the family. Haven't been able to do it earlier because of the pumpkin patch, and so I just kind of told her I'm leaving. I can't wait any longer, because then we get into the holidays and we're busy, and this is the only weekend I can push it back to, so we're doing it. She said, okay, fine. So, she gets it. She understands. So we'll be doing that on Saturday, and then I'll be back up and at it again on Sunday, and then the last weekend, or the last week of October, we'll be having preschool kids come in to get a free pumpkin. So, and kind of hang out in the pumpkin patch. So that'll be good. Other than that, I think it's going well. Everything else is fine. I hope to get some stitching done this week, a little bit more than I did in the last. Although that's average, 4 things touched in a 5-day period. I haven't been stitching much on Saturdays, just because I putter around and I do my video, and then I edit the video, and then I load the video, and that all takes time. And then when I'm done in the evening, I've been sewing, or I might pick up something to work on, but it's something small, although they all matter, right? Because you got to get them done. So yeah, it'll be kind of the same thing this weekend, I'm sure. And I think that's it. Where am I at? Oh my gosh, 34 minutes. I have not done a video in 34 minutes in a long time. Jingle Ball. I have not bought a ticket yet. I'm not sure if I'm going to participate. I did go online and I looked at the classes. I was ready to purchase a ticket and some classes, and then I looked at the cost of the classes, and it's not that they're expensive individually. I mean, I've spent more than some of those classes for in-person events at the Scrapbook Expo. So I'm not afraid to spend the money on classes. I just, for where I'm at in the year, and getting new glasses really kind of pushed me back a little bit in the budget. So that's the main reason. I haven't purchased any classes, and I'm debating. I may change my mind. We'll see where I end up after payday. I may still go in and do that. I really liked the Stacy Nash charts. The gingerbread needlebook is adorable. The animal cracker is adorable. Will she ever release those outside of the Jingle Ball? I don't know. She's selling the gingerbread house chart this year, from what I understand, in her shop at the Jingle Ball. Will she do the same with the gingerbread? Will she release them together at some point? I don't know. I think he's awfully cute, and I am really torn. I do love the Liz Matthews. It's kind of like a scene in a snow globe. So it's a jar that's turned up, so you mount everything to the lid, and then the jar goes over the top. So clever. So clever. But again, you know, and I think the other part of it too is I haven't stitched anything from the mystery box from Chantel's 141 design from last year, and this year's box is coming soon. I still haven't received my Teresa Kogut exclusive from the Shepherd's Needle, I believe. They're still working on filling those orders. And of course, I have my own things that I want to work on. So, part of me is like, it's okay if you let some of it go. It'll pop up elsewhere, and if it doesn't, you'll find the chart later, or you'll find something else you like just as much, if not better, more. So I'm kind of leaning towards that. I might still buy a ticket and attend. I would love to do a table. So if anybody is going to be in a table, if I do go, I would love to sit and join you at a table. I might try the speed dating. Other than that, I don't know. And it's hard too, because I work on Friday. I'm not going to take the day off. I work on Friday, which means by the time I get home and get settled, everybody else has gone to bed. So there's that. And then Saturday, it should be okay that weekend. I should be able to get up and pull myself together and participate fully if I wanted to. But anything can happen. I don't know what December brings. So I don't know. I'm on the fence. My quilt. Okay. So I made that quilt top, Autumn Nights by Fat Quarter Shop. It was a weekly stitch along for 4 weeks. I finished the quilt top. My gal at work, her mom takes to a local person that does long arm quilting. It's only like 33 by 32. So she quoted me a price with the batting, and I'm like, oh my gosh, yes. So I took it over to her this morning. I'll get it back in a couple of weeks, and then all I'll have to do is bind it. And I'm so excited because I think I will have it in time to enjoy it for November, for Thanksgiving, before I have to put it away. I don't have to, but it's a fall leaf and a pumpkin quilt. I don't want it out in December or January. So we'll see how it turns out. And I think that's it. Yeah, I've just been doing things I'm not prepared to talk about right now. And I need to make bag charms for the bags that I have made. Oh, I know what I wanted to say. I have so many baskets next to my chair where I stitch that I'm tired of it. And I need to do something with them anyways, because that's where the Christmas tree goes. So I was looking, I have built-in bookcases against my wall with the fireplace, and then the TV is above the fireplace. And I have a basket that I stick in one of the shelves that has all of my current whips that I'm working on. So anything seasonal that I'm working on goes in there, or that I want to work on for the month or the season goes in there. My Sal's, so Land That I Love, Hometown, the things that I want to try to touch with some regularity are all in that basket. Well, I decided that I've got 2-3 cubbies that aren't utilized very well, and it's going to be a little asymmetrical, so that bothers me quite a bit, but I'll have to get over it. So I went online and I bought the biggest container that I could find on Amazon that would fit in the cubbies. And I went through all of my whips, all of my kitted projects. There's a few actually that need to come out here, so I can check and see if my floss is here or not for them, and pick fabric so I can get those ready to go. I did a Christmas and winter basket. I have my current whip basket I switched out. Just kind of resorted and redistributed a little bit. And I need to finish putting those away. It's a little hard because we still have Bentley, my daughter's dog. He goes home on Saturday, and his crate is in front of where some of those baskets need to go. But what it did is it freed up a few baskets. It's got several of them off of the floor now and into a space. And my goal for 2026 is going to be to have the only basket that's on the floor next to my chair will be this basket here that I drop projects in that I have finished working on, or haul that comes, so that I just pick it up from my chair and bring it out here to tell you guys about it. That's a lot of things that have to get finished. But I think if I focus on it and do what I've been doing, Friday focus piece, Saturday sampler, that should help me move things along. The other thing that I want to do is I will be going through before the end of the year all of my projects, and anything that is at the 50% mark or more are going to go into a separate spot, and I'm going to stitch on those until they're done. So I'll pull one out and stitch it every Friday. I may add an extra day in depending on what I'm working on. I have a lot of smalls and I want to get them done and out before I start anything else, if that makes sense. I just feel like I've got so much going on. It just takes so long for me to get to a finish that I want to focus on moving some of those out. Now the hard part is moving them out without starting new. And you know, of course I'm going to start new. That's just how it goes. I have not kitted up any new Christmas stuff. I did find all of my Christmas, and oddly enough, it's what I have going right now is more winter than it is Christmas. So I would like to pull out a Christmas chart or two to work on. You know, I have this guy, So I do think I'm going to pull out a couple of Christmas starts and see about getting them started, which, you know, just kind of counteracts everything that I just said. But I don't have much, and so that's why I want to get some of those done. I also want to, in 2026, focus on getting a few more ornaments done. Not necessarily the Busilla, but the Teresa Kogut. There's two that I'm thinking of right now off the top of my head that if I do them, they'd be really cute on the tree. I know Primrose Cottage has a book of Halloween smalls that can be made into ornaments. So I'm going to take a look at those and maybe put some of those on. We'll just play it by ear and see what we can get done. But I'm already starting to think about next year and how that will work. So let me know if you want me to do a whip parade. It will probably be a very long video. I got a lot. But if you are interested in a whip parade, let me know. I might even break it up and do seasonal and holiday versus every day to break it up a little bit. Let me know if you'd be interested, because I know there's a lot of stuff that I didn't even touch this year that I'm sure that we've all forgotten about. So anyways, that is it for me today. Thank you so much for joining me. If you've made it to the end, thank you. Please take a moment if you've liked what you have seen and hit that subscribe button, ring the notification bell, make sure to share the video, like the video, comment on the video. I do read the comments. I do reply to the comments with at least that little heart acknowledgement on your comment, if not actually responding to you. I do try, if you ask a question, I do try to find the answer for you. And I do try to answer my my comments within the week. Coming up for this next week, I have for sure I have Halloween off, and then on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday morning, I am going to be out of town with my friend for paper crafting fun. We're just going down the street, literally. But we're getting a hotel suite. I think it's a suite. And we're just going to set up shop and we're just going to craft. And if we have to run to the store, we'll run to the store. We'll go get something to eat. We'll just hang out and have fun. We haven't spent much time together in the last year or two, so it'll be good to spend some time with her. So there won't be a video the first weekend in November. I might be able to put something together on Halloween. We'll have to wait and see. Otherwise, it won't be until probably the 9th, because the 8th is our benefit auction and I will be tied up all day, I'm sure. So the only way that might be different is if the venue lets us set up Friday evening. So we'll see. But then after that, I should be settled and I should be regular recording schedule resumed. Okay. Have a great rest of your week and a fabulous weekend. And until next time, happy stitching. Bye.